Hi everybody and welcome to another video. In this video I would like to talk about a DM10 and 1200 use case called File Manager or Directory functionality. This display family does provide access to directory or folder to browse like an Explorer or File Manager, which gives the user the possibility to manage files on or to the display. You are able to upload, copy, and open files to and from the display directory or USB and vice versa. ECUs supporting media files like the DM10 and 1200 displays to have managed ECU media files item in the ECU list of service tool and a media repository inside guide since version 12.0. Via this item, you can easily read out information about the file system, updating existing files with new versions of media files, adding new files to the file system, save file to disk, and adding subdirectories as well. When using a DM10 or 1200 HWD with media file support, a new media repository item will be displayed in the guide project manager. Via this repository, you are able to add folder and/or media files to that project like PDF, MP3, and for a text or JPEG file. The media repository is stored in appmedia.tar, included as a guide project file if any media files or folders has been added to the project. You can copy this tar file and unpack the files and you will see the same folder structure, including the files like it has been added to the media repository and guide. So these added media files and folders will be included in the LHX and downloaded with the application. To get the remote path of a media file, use the copy full name when right-clicking a media file. The full name and clipboard can then be pasted in a POU code or used in graphical code like a widget or the generic viewport. Via the ECU system navigator inside the service tool, it is possible to read out information about the file system for media files from displays where the HWD includes support for the Directory API functionality. The Manage ECU Media Files window does provide access to a directory or folder to browse like an Explorer or File Manager, which gives the user the possibility to manage files on or to the DM10 and 1200 or USB and vice versa. The guide application will be suspended while the Manage ECU Media Files dialog is opened. The folder application files does include the media files which are stored or added to the guide project and therefore included in the LHX file. Via Guide Project Manager and the media repository, you are able to manage the project media files easily. The name of this path is /home/p1user/media, which refers to application read-only directory. You are able to update existing files, but you are not allowed or able to add or delete files. This can be done only inside Guide via media repository. The second folder, optional files, does include two additional subfolders. +1 user, which refers to the internal storage, and SDA1, which refers to the USB stick. The name of the internal storage path is /media/p1user and from the USB stick /media. Via the tool icons on the top of the window, you are able to manage the files and folders. Inside Guide, the user has got the possibility to manage the file storage and use of the media file handling very flexible via the BIOS variables called Directory API. So any comments related to file browser, directory, explorer, and management are available and accessible via these variables located inside the DM10 and 12 display templates input and output pages. While these DirAPI hardware signals listed inside the DM10 and 1200 API specification, the user can read out and write the path to different directories to browse. Directory listing like a valid file, the size and name of the file, and copy and delete files via these variables as well. Let's have a look to the available directory variables. Using the DirAPI directory variable to write or set a path to a folder to browse. Allowed folders are only /home /p1 user /media, which refers to application read-only directory and can be read via the variable app media dir. Another allowed folder is /media and its subdirectories /media /p1 or +1 user. The /media path refers to attached USB stick, read and write directory, and can be read via the variable media main dir. A USB device cable is needed to connect to the DM10 or 1200. /media /+1 user refers to internal storage, media read and write directory, and can be read via the variable main storage dir. In general, the directory will be reread only if the path or content params are changed via force refresh. The reread command of the path can be forced. The following two variables are mandatory and needful at the same time, starting with found files count, which read out the count of items read or read from the directory, and requested file index to write the index of the item found in the directory to fill the first file requested structure. All available files and directories, so-called items, are listed inside the file requested array, which we will have a deeper look in the following. I will show the previously mentioned and additional DirAPI variables using the service tool and adding these variables inside the pages. And this is how it looks like inside the service tool: manage ECU media files, the API variables, and the read parameter inside service tool page. I took a screenshot from the current directory via the manage ECU media files to show the current directory folders and files and compare these with the following DirAPI variables used in the service tool pages. Inside my guide application, I only added a non-volatile parameter connected directly to the DirAPI variables and some fixed directory string values to set these via service tool as valid directory path. So on the first service tool page, I have a parameter to choose one of the fixed directory path 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These refers to the current directory folders, which can be checked with the screenshot. Select different path string values to see the variable directory and the path to a folder to browse, but as already said, only two paths to a folder are allowed. These three variables show the fixed path to application, USB stick, and internal storage, which can be read via these DirAPI variables. On the next service tool page, using the variable force refresh from false to true to reread the path even if the path isn't changed. This can be used inside the guide code to get the current directory path. The next DirAPI variable is found files count to read out the number of files or items found on the current directory. In our case, selected directory is /media /+1 user /test, and this folder does include 4 items. When we check this with the current directory overview via the screenshot, it shows only 2 items, a PDF and a text file. This is because each folder does provide 2 default items, a single dot, which represents the current directory, and a double dot, which represents the parent directory. These items can be used to manage or direct to another directory path. Switch to the next service tool page. Via set requested file index, the item found in the directory can be selected to fill the first file requested structure. For our example, the number of found files count is 4, so the current directory do have 4 items, single dot, double dot, a PDF file, and a text file. Set the variable requested file index to 2, then the file requested variable will start with the item with the index 2, so starting at 0, inside the current directory, which is the PDF file in our example. On the next page, read the file requested variables to read out the found files on the current directory, starting with the index set via requested file index. Only read indexes will be updated not updated indexes will keep or hold the old previous file name. So there is a need to combine the found files count variables to deal with the existing files and the following directory listings. Reading the directory and the items starting with index 0 and read out the file name of each index are shown on the right. Starting on index 0 with one dot, index 1 with double dot, index 2 with a PDF, and index 3 with the text file. Changing the requested file index to 2 will change the read file name. Now it starts with index 2 of the items found in the directory folder, which is a PDF, and the text file follows. Here you can see the previously read item names on index 2 and 3, which will not be updated, and keep the old names as long as they will be updated with new item names. As I already mentioned, via the DirAPI content parameter, you are able to manage the directory listing. Via sort content, you can list the directory internally. So true sorted alphabetically by name, and false listing keeps the order of items stored on the disk. The want dirs, so containing subfolders, the dot, double dot, and subfolders. The want regular files, which is related to images, videos, and PDFs, and want other files at mask as well. You are able to list the directory specifically. So after the directory and file index has been selected, the file requested variables provides different elements for validity, which can be read out and shown on this last service to page. For each file requested item, you can read out different elements. For example, if the data is valid, read out the name, the size of the file in bytes, if it is a file or directory, or if it is other file. So for our example, the first read item single dot is a valid item, size of approximately 4 kilobytes. It's not a regular file, it is a directory and not an other file. Same for the second item double dot. And the third item is a PDF file. It is also valid, size is 56 megabyte. It is a regular file and not a directory or other file. At the bottom of this service to page, I added the item elements from index 30, which has never been written up to now, so it is empty. Does not include the item, so it is not valid. Size is 0, and it is nor a regular or other file or directory. Via some additional DirAPI variables, there's also the possibility to read out file specified by name or index and read the content. It is also possible to use variables to delete and copy files via specifying the name and destination directory. At the end of this video, I will show you one of many possible ways to create your own file manager programmed inside the screen editor using the standard vector-based screen editor functionalities, combine images and touch areas with guide or structured text code logic, and connect the DirAPI signals to the screen input and output bus signals. This example of a file manager do have more or less 3 different main parts. So the first one is the header. It shows the path via the variable DirAPI media storage dir, which is the path to the internal storage media, the read-write directory. It's a /media/p1 user. You can use the images and the touch status to manage the order or comments for refresh, select, copy, and so on. These comment signals can be connected directly to the DirAPI variables via the screen editor output signals. So the variables like the force refresh, requested file index, and the copy related variables as well. The logic of the file browser functionalities can be developed in guide code or with POU calls directly from the screen editor using C code or structured text. The second part is the file content or listing. So reading out the directory files with a file name and the size. Using the DirAPI listing variables to sort alphabetically by name, contain subdirectories found in the directory path, and if listing should contain regular or special files. Also, the possibility to check the listing names by a mask expression. DirAPI variables found files count and requested file index can be used to select individual available files in that directory. But note that files will be identified via the index, so all files related elements will refer to the file identified via the requested file index. So like the file name, the size, but also the delete and copy elements. The third part is, in this example, a footer. So just simple read out the number of files found in the selected directory. This refers to the variables found files count and directory. Using these DirAPI variables and linked with screen editor components helps you build up your own browser or file manager flexible and in many different ways and have access to media files stored inside the application, internal storage, or on USB. This example shows a combination of the elements which I tried to explain in this video. We hope that you found this tutorial useful. Remember that PLUS+1 community help is available on the PLUS+1 user forum. Check out other videos on our YouTube channel or contact the PLUS+1 help desk. Thank you for your attention.